What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? My name is Beaker and welcome to my channel. Welcome to the good, better, and best SMG video that I'm going to be going over. So we're going to be going over the good, which is the MAC-10. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that one. It's the MAC-10. Better, PPSH, which I just decided that it's better because basically some of the charts that I went over, which you guys will maybe agree with me that this thing is actually a lot better than what I thought. Especially reading the patch notes, I thought that the MAC-10 was better. I even put out a video saying that the MAC-10 was better, which it is in certain situations, which we are going to be going over. But I think PPSH very slightly, like it barely beats out the MAC-10 in my opinion, and I'll go over exactly why. And the best, obviously, is the Modern Warfare MP5. Like if you're still using the Cold War MP5, like I don't even know what you're doing. The TTK is worse than the Modern Warfare MP5, and it's harder to use. Like the recoil, everyone knows the recoil is way harder to use on the Cold War MP5 compared to the Modern Warfare one. Even with the collapsible stock that I'm gonna have on the build here, I don't know what you're doing. I haven't even tried this thing. I don't care to because the TTK is just doesn't match up to me. And if you're in that closer range, that's why this thing didn't even make the list, because the closest thing to compare it to was the Modern Warfare one, and it was a very easy pick to pick the Modern Warfare one. So that's why I did that. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. All right, so we're just going to start this off with the build. So my favorite, my baby, is going to be the Modern Warfare MP5. Recoil is super easy to use. The TTK is the best as far as close range. So that's why this thing beats out everything else. So definitely, no question, that's why this thing's top contender. Monolithic suppressor actually does have slightly better ADS time than the integral, and the damage range isn't that much worse. The bullet velocity is like 5% worse, but again, close range doesn't really matter. Merc foregrip for the best recoil control, 45 round mag. I run the sleight of hand because I hate the standard reload on this thing. It takes forever. And the collapsible stock to bring back some of that mobility to kind of compete with the Cold War stuff. That's that build. MAC-10, Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight to get us the best mobility, Raider Shock to get even more mobility, and then the 53 round drum mag. PPSH, we're gonna have the standard suppressor, so it's gonna be a little bit different, and I'll show you guys why. Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight for the best mobility, Raider Shock for even more mobility, and then the 71 round mag. So that was kind of the biggest thing. I wanted to do some testing with this thing to see how much it did slow you down, which is part of the reason why the sound suppressor's on here, to get back some of that ADS time. But basically what the biggest contender for me, what edged out this to the MAC-10, was the fact that the MAC-10, yes, it has an outstanding TTK, but it takes a lot of bullets to do it. So by the time that you down somebody and finish them, you might have enough bullets to down the next guy, but most of the time you got to reload. So definitely got to think of your fights a little bit differently. Maybe run throwing knives, or just don't full the first guy and then wait for the second guy, just depending on how close he is. I mean, everything is situational, right? So you can never really tell. But those are my reasonings. These are the builds that we're going to be looking at. All right, guys. So we're going to start this off with just flat out fastest TTKs that you can get out of these weapons, which is going to be headshots only, and you're already ADS'd. I'm not going to put the open bolt delay in here because unless you're pre-firing with the MAC-10, it's going to be the only way you're going to make up time. And it's already in last. I don't want to make them more in last, right? Just kind of help them out a little bit. So anyways, so that's why I did that. So obviously, as you can see, Modern Warfare MP5 is the best, even all the way up to 20 meters. Now that's only hitting headshots. Seems pretty good, but that's pretty hard to do. Close to, 19 meters. Yeah, 19 meters with the collapsible stock. Pretty hard to do with the Modern Warfare MP5. But again, we're not really using it for that range, especially if you have this thing matched with the Cold War AK and you have really good ADS times. You're not really going to be using this that far. So very next, PPSH. So not ADS, so you actually have the ADS. This is showing that you're not ADS'd. You are, so it drops down the TTK. So not ADS'd. This thing ADS is faster than the MAC-10, so then therefore it has faster TTK, only headshots, and it actually beats it out in all ranges. You're never going to use it this far. The recoil is just not good enough, which is where I think the MAC-10 actually outperforms all of these as like a sniper support, or as I like to call an LMG support, if you get caught in a reload with a LMG. So that's one. All right, now we're going to move over to chest shots. So Modern Warfare still beats it out. Now it starts to fall off a little bit. But again, we're not really going to use it for that far. MAC-10, move back into second place. Even if, so this is already ADS'd with the open bullet delay. We're just going to negate that for now. So not ADS'd. Or sorry, ADS'd. Now we're going to ADS. PPSH just doesn't quite have enough. It's pretty damn close. Obviously, if you get past 20 meters, which again, knowing your gun and how it works is really important, you are going to beat it out. But it's right there. It's really close. But the MAC-10 actually does beat it out. Stomach shots, pretty much going to be the same thing. There's no multipliers with chest. And then extremities, pretty much the same bit. So, what did it for me, so we're just going to do chest and not ADS. We're going to add in the okay, sorry, I just had to edit that a little bit. So there used to be a little toggle here for sprint to fire, which is not on here anymore. That's a bummer. But basically, sprint to fire time, because of the open bolt delay on the MAC-10, is terrible. It's not that great at all comparing to these other two, which is another reason why the PPSH ended up beating it out. The PPSH does have an open bolt delay, so definitely be aware of that, but it's not nearly as bad as what it used to be. They've definitely corrected it since then. So the PPSH did overpower that. I don't know why I keep saying beat it out. Sounds dirty. I need to stop saying that. So it ended up winning between those two. I literally just checked these the day before of recording this, and now it's not here. So that kind of sucks. But anyways, to take my word for it, the sprint to fire time was better from the PPSH compared to the MAC-10. Obviously, in Modern Warfare MP5, still much, much better. That collapsible stock is a huge, huge help in that. So now we're going to jump over to Jgods Chart. I think it's kind of hard to see right here. I can't zoom in. But basically, these are going to be ranked. We're really only be looking from 0 to 10 meters. You can look at 10 to 15 if you want, but I'm going to be focusing on 0 to 10 meters. So basically, these are all categorized from best to worst. And of course, like I said before, Modern Warfare MP5 is the best. Obviously, you're gonna have the AS-FAL, which is the best, but only having 30 round mag. Not a lot of people use it. And the Akimbo M19s, which I've been over before, is the fastest TTK gun in the game, close range. But again, it's Akimbo. You have to be right on top of people. And if you're like me, and if you use auto tac sprint, it can be kind of tough sometimes. You're trying to like chase people and shoot at the same time and pushing forward, and it just doesn't work all that well. So your TTK definitely drops. But the next like most practical gun is the Modern Warfare MP5. So that's why we obviously use that one. Cyclops right there. I have a video of why I don't think that it's the best, but it's what it is. Now you're thinking, I know, Cold War MP5 next in line. Why not put that in here? Again, the recoil, the difference between these two is pretty substantial, I would say, as far as close range goes, between the Modern Warfare and the Cold War MP5. And then we have the same huge damage drop off from 526 from 677, from 562 to 703. So huge damage drop off past 10 meters. And again, the recoil on the Cold War MP5 just is a lot harder to use. Granted, it's only 10 meters, but you have to hit your shots for this gun to be worthwhile, and that's why I just don't think it fit in this bit. And we're going to go to the reason now why I didn't use the PPSH for the longest time, because the MAC-10 TTK beat it. Even past 10 meters, it beat it up to 15. It's faster. Sorry, off one. So 588 on the MAC-10 and 595 for the PPSH. The same thing from 10 to 15 meters, 588, 595. Finally, past 15 meters, we're going to have 753 for the MAC-10 and 661 and beyond is going to be for the PPSH. So it is the best long range SMG, but again, the recoil on it isn't the best. TTKs don't matter if you don't hit your shots. So the recoil definitely comes into play. But I'm not sure exactly how these are, these are what we went over before as far as pound for pound. If you have a Mac 10 base and they have a PPS build base and you both start firing at the same time at only chest, Mac 10 is going to win. However, that's not how all gunfights go. You have maneuvering, you have drop shotting, you're going to start missing shots, which with the Mac 10, if you start missing shots, the thing does shoot so fast in a relatively small mag for how fast it shoots, you're going to run out of bullets pretty fast. PPSH has a larger mag and it shoots slower, so it does more damage per bullet, so you can miss some shots and regain pretty quickly. And again, as we saw before, if you start hitting headshots, you're going to beat out the Mac 10. So once I did that comparison, I'm back on the PPSH train again. If I'm for some reason not liking the Modern Warfare MP5, or if I'm using like an LMG, like a more aggro LMG, like the Bruin, or well, Bruin's not really good example because it's got the 60 round mag. But if I'm using like a Stoner or a PKM, I'll probably run the PPSH again. And the movement's really good, even with the 71 round mag. Obviously, nothing compares to the Mac 10. Mac 10 is the fastest gun in the game as far as maneuverability. So that's why it definitely deserves a spot in this list for sure. So those are kind of my reasonings of why, we're gonna have top contender. I mean, if you're not using the Modern Warfare MP5, I don't know what you're doing. Again, everyone's playstyle plays differently. I'm more of an aggro player where I'm gonna run indoors, and if I'm running indoors, I'm not gonna be past 10 meters. So that's why I use the Modern Warfare MP5, because it beats everything. There's nothing that can beat it. There's been a few times where I've been down, like someone starts shooting at me, and I jump, turn, they had the drop on me, I can have no plates. And if I start hitting headshots when they're hitting me in the body or in the legs or whatever with a Mac 10, which seems to be the next most popular, I don't think people, like myself included, didn't want to go to the PPSH because the TTK on it wasn't as good. But again, you have to start hitting your shots, which is where I want this list to be. But anyways, yeah, I'll be down on the MP5, and I'll still down them, or they'll be shooting at me first, they'll have the drop on me, I'll turn and I'll down them faster. So my opinion, if you're not using the Modern Warfare MP5, I don't know what you're doing. But again, different play styles play into different people, and that's where kind of this list falls. Take everything with a grain of salt. Take, these builds are built certain ways for my play style. They have my feedback built into them, and I have kind of the stats of why they are where they are. The PPSH definitely has a place for sure. Like I said, I definitely want to use it more. But if I'm getting wrecked all day and I need a gun, and I'm most likely gonna go Krieg or XM4 and Modern Warfare MP5, because they're just some of the best weapons out there right now. So if you guys like more videos like this, definitely let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see. Again, I'm going to do these more when there's like a huge patch notes or a new season or a new reloaded season, whatever. So thanks again for sticking around the whole video, guys. Make sure you guys let me know what you think. Like the video, and then we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.